welcome to my channel. I'm going to show you guys how to purchase. I purchased two iMacs, one a 21.5 inch and one a 27 inch for under $800 with SSDs, both of them. So the units I got again were 2011s. I actually had to put the SSDs in them, but I was able to buy the units, both two systems, plus the SSD drives. They're both 240 gig SSDs from Samsung Evo. And what else did I get? I ended up getting the external, I call it LACIE, I know it's called something different, but it's the Thunderbolt connection for external Thunderbolt connections. And I hooked that up, I boot off those things, and now the 2011 computers are super fast. So go ahead and stay tuned. I'll show you kind of some of the results that I got from them. I'll be making some more extensive videos on this. This is just a quick teaser just to kind of show you what's capable for $800 for getting two iMacs in your house. Really quickly, I wanted to show you the hard drive that I'm booting off of. It's the LACIE. It's the actual one with the orange bumper. It's connected via Thunderbolt, so it's a really quick 10 gigabit per second connection. Don't worry about the black one. That's just a backup drive I have. But the orange one's actually the LACIE one, and it's been super fast. I'll show you the results soon. And just to show you the one on the 21.5 inch, this is the same drive. This is the LACIE drive again. It's an SSD external drive using Thunderbolt, and it's how I run my OS. Anyhow, I guess the purpose of the video is just to show you that you really don't need a 2018 iMac or 2017 iMac. I purchased the 2011, and yeah, they took 2-3 minutes to load, but then I actually installed the SSDs in them using the external drives actually. And I'm getting 350, 380 megabits per second, and so everything loads super quick. I'm able to do all my video editing on these, and I have an incredible unit from the 27 inch that's actually obviously 1440p. 27 inches of beautiful screen I got it for around $290, which is incredible. Again, I can't say that you're going to reproduce these results, but I was able to do it. I just took a lot of time sitting there watching for sales on eBay, and I literally probably had to look at 300 to 500 units before I got this one. Sometimes you have to think quick at the end and actually make the purchase, but long story short, I was able to do it, and the unit came through perfect. So it's not a grade C by any stretch. It's probably a grade B, and hopefully it'll last a really long time. You just never know. There's no battery obviously in the iMac, so it doesn't really matter that much. But I'll go ahead and show you how everything works, and we'll kind of go through all the specs and everything like that. Okay, I'm going to show you how this system performs. I'm going to open up a few programs. Here is Chrome, and obviously it loads up very quickly. You can see it takes a couple seconds. Here is ESPN as well. Everything is very fluent when you're scrolling, so there's no problems there whatsoever. Just to open up a few other ones, I'll go ahead and open up iMovie. You can see it only bounces once or twice, and the actual iMovie opens up very quickly. And once you're in here, this is a project I was working on, and I'm scrubbing through it here. It's very quick. There's very little stuttering with the scrubbing. Of course, this is 1080p video, and just keep that in mind that I'm going to try 4K soon when I upgrade my RAM to 16 gigabytes. So for now, this is just a good example of what 1080p is like, but it does load very quickly. Finally, just a couple other examples. Here is the Maps program, and you can see that this loads very quickly as well. So anything you pretty much open up will load very quickly on this system. I think it's because of the SSD for sure. I tried it with a spinning drive, and it was nowhere close to this speed. Here's a few more examples to show you the speed of the system. Some common programs. Here's Pages. As you can see, it pretty much opened up within 1 second. So that's very quick. And we can go ahead and open up a few more here. Another common program that people use, let me think of one, might be Keynote. Keynote again takes 1 to 2 seconds to open up. I've used this to create a lot of different documents, and the animations and things in here work very quickly as well. So very little difference between that and a system that's a lot newer. If I'm going to be running the speed test program here in Blackmagic, just to show you the speed of the disk when I installed it on Thunderbolt, it's pretty quick, and you can see that the writes here come in around 350 megabits per second or faster, and then the writes are going to be somewhere top out around in the 380s, 390s sometimes. And you can see that it's a huge difference between this and the spinning drive that would actually come with the system. So just make sure that you hook up, I mean, it's key that you hook up the LACIE Thunderbolt and boot off of that versus using the internal drives. I just want to make sure that's clear. When you do that, you can see that programs like Photos here, everything scrolls very quickly, loads very quickly, because it's loading off that SSD versus a spinning drive. And the spinning drives in here, mind you, were literally 5400 RPM. Finally, the screen is beautiful. It's 1440p, and it's much better than a 1080p screen, and it's a joy to watch and work with. So I recommend this system no matter what. So the actual systems that I purchased, I do video editing on them, and I'm able to, obviously I'm doing 1080p right now, but it has no problem with that. The scrubbing's perfectly, smooth. Everything loads in 2 seconds, so it's really for a 2011, I can't believe that it works this well, especially for browsing and also just basic tasks. I mean, 4K is going to be pushing it, but I'm going to do a video on that next. I think you can do it because of the upgrade in the SSD. I'm going to wait until I get 16 gigs of RAM in here as well. Once I have that, I think it's going to be a little bit easier to do the 4K, but right now it can handle 1080p no problem, and it's a pretty enjoyable experience for sure. Really quickly, I wanted to show you the 21.5-inch 2011 performance, very similar to the 27-inch. There's very few differences between the two units. The 27-inch is pushing a little bit more pixels on the screen. You can go ahead and see the applications load very quickly, just like they do in the 27-inch. This is due to the SSD that I installed. I'm going to go ahead and open up Blackmagic here, and from this I can show you the reads and the writes from the hard drive that I installed. Keep in mind that I installed an external OS through the Thunderbolt connection using that LACIE hard drive and a Samsung Evo 240 gigabyte SSD, so you'll get similar results if you do the same thing. It should be around 350, 340 on the writes and about 370 to 380 on the reads. You could use a slower drive. It might actually come out a little bit slower, but it should be somewhere around there. It completely changes the system, and as you can see, this is a great system just to do basic tasks on and 1080p video editing. So check out the 2011s for sure. They work great. So anyways, this video is just kind of a video in a series of videos, so I'm going to actually, show you some various tasks and various projects that I do with these systems. So just so you guys have an idea of how they operate and how they work. I think obviously the 2011 is getting on the borderline of what you can actually upgrade and still have work really well. I think the 2012 is the next one I would probably buy. It does still come with a Thunderbolt connection, which you can use this I call it LACIE, but basically connect external hard drive to run your SSD. I'm going to go ahead and link in the description of my video exactly how I actually hooked up the hard drives, the external hard drives to these systems. I have a whole 15-minute step-by-step video on that, so definitely check that out in the link. When you're actually looking at this video, it's going to be in my description below, and you'll see exactly how I did that. Anyway, guys, that's the conclusion of the video. As you can see, like I said, the video is a little shaky, but I'll definitely improve on that as my channel expands. I just wanted to kind of show people what's capable of $800, $799. I got two systems, both running SSDs, 8 and 12 gigs of RAM. It can, upgrade it to High Sierra, and possibly I can go all the way up to the newest OS. I haven't tried it yet. I know there's some tricks you have to do to get there, but long story short, I had no problems whatsoever, and I was able to get the SSDs running in literally 5 minutes, 10 minutes after I actually went through the process of loading the OS and stuff. So long story short, just please support my channel and subscribe, and I will talk to you next time. Thanks a bunch. Bye.